Hello, guys. I want to talk about a recent strong statement made by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi directly addressing Canada. This response is significant because it came after Canada labeled India as a potential cyber threat, about which we have already discussed in our video in detail, and it has been causing serious tensions between the two nations. PM Modi's statement now caught the world's attention since he is known as one of the most popular and influential global leader. So his powerful message basically sent a clear signal that any acts of intimidation against Indian diplomats would not weaken India's stance. So it's a direct response from Mr. Modi. Anyway, let me get into the details of it. I have a PPT to share. With that, we will be discussing. So guys, I hope all of you can see the screen. Okay, so let's continue the discussion. Let's try to understand why this statement is very important and why I told it's very important. Recently, there was an attack on a Hindu temple in Canada that did not get much attention, and about which also we have done a video yesterday. And PM Modi's response addressed this issue and emphasized that such acts of violence, including threats to Indian diplomats, would not shake India's resolve. And he made it very clear that India expects the Canadian government to ensure justice and uphold the rule of law, something that Canadian leaders often talk about when discussing other issues. Now, coming to another serious issue, let me move on to the next slide. Yeah. Another serious issue that Mr. Modi highlighted was the surveillance of Indian diplomats by the Canadian government. So there are reports which indicate that their conversations are being monitored, which is a clear violation of diplomatic norms, right? And PM Modi's statement, supported by India's Ministry of External Affairs, sent a strong message that India considers such actions unacceptable and will not tolerate such kind of action. And this sets an important precedent about how India stands up for its diplomats. Okay. So now coming to the next one, Canada is part of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, about which also we have discussed many times, which include powerful allies like US, UK, Australia, New Zealand. So this makes people wonder if these countries will support Canada in its stance against India. But recent events have shown that not all these countries agree with Canada. For example, when India's foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, visited Australia, the Australian government expressed very good support for India. So this shows that not all members of the Five Eyes Alliance are on the same page as Canada. Okay. So if you see, during his visit to Australia, Mr. Jaishankar made very important remark that caught everyone's attention. So he pointed out three main issues. Firstly, that Canada often makes accusations without any proof, and we discussed about it many times. Secondly, that monitoring Indian diplomats is unacceptable and which we cannot tolerate. Thirdly, that Canada allows extremist group to operate freely, including the pro-Khalistan groups. Okay, so Dr. Jaishankar discussed these concerns openly with the Australian officials, and that shows that India is actively addressing these issues on an international level discussions. Okay, now moving on. It is also very important to understand the political climate in Canada. So Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government is likely not going to change its approach, especially with upcoming elections. So there are a lot of political, aspect also involved in this. So using India as a political issue might be part of a strategy. So the Trudeau's administration has even categorized India alongside countries like Russia and North Korea regarding the cybersecurity, which is a very serious move and very serious concern for us. So this could lead to recommendations from groups like G7 and the Five Eyes affecting India's position globally as well. Now coming to Australia's balanced stand. So guys, one of the positive development which came from Australia is while Canada's approach has isolated it to some extent, Australia's response was more of balanced. And the Australian foreign minister said that the attack on Hindu temple during Diwali celebrations was unacceptable. So she also emphasized that the relationship between India and Australia is very, very important to them. And this shows that not all Western countries are aligning with Canada's aggressive stance against India. So that's again something which I want to mention here. And coming to the conclusion, see, in closing, Prime Minister Modi's direct message to Canada actually mark a significant moment in the current tensions between the two nations. And it shows that India is ready to stand up for its interest and for its diplomats. At the same time, the situation also highlights the support India has from other nations like Australia. So moving forward, it will be very interesting to see how India and Canada manage their relationship and what further actions might be taken by both sides to either address or escalate the current issue. So that's about this session. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.